And you can also see the smoke from the fire over by West Cliff. It's about 2,000 acres right now. We're going to continue on now down to Anaconda Valley. Welcome to Anaconda Valley. Anaconda was a small little town that sat right down here in the head of this valley on the other side of the road. It was a bustling town in 1900. The U.S. Census put its population at over 1,000 people. They had electricity, running water, general store, drugstore. The fire that broke out down in the Brody ore processing plant raged up this valley and actually burned Anaconda to the ground as well. Now, the only building that still stands, this was one of two blacksmith shops just off to the right of the engine that was in operation for the Anaconda gold mine. Look closely behind the building, you can see the outhouse tipped over. Just to the right of that and up the hill, you'll see a wooden wheelhouse up there. That was the Morning Glory mine. That mine produced $3 million. Over to the right of that, you see a tall wooden head frame that slants off to the right. That was the Dr. Jackpot mine. That mine has a funny story. Two brothers came up from Colorado Springs in a really bad winter. They tried to strike it rich all through the winter, but were unsuccessful. In the spring, they were about ready to pack things up. They decided to go ahead and give her one more chance. So one of the brothers took his hat off, threw it up in the air, and where it landed, that's where they started digging. Now that's got to be the luckiest hat toss in history because they pulled $10 million out of that mine. Over to the right and down the hill slightly, you see three buildings. This is the Mary McKinney mine. The building on the left with the chimney was the mining office. The building on the right up the hill was the caretaker's home. Now that shack with the brick wall next to it, that was the powder magazine. It's where they stored all the explosives for the mine. If you look closely, you see it looks kind of like a road that goes through there. Well, that was the Midland Terminal rail bed. In 1941, an engine threw a spark out its smokestack while crossing through that mine and started a really bad fire that caused the mine to close. But they did pull $13 million out of that mine. Now, further over to the right and way up towards the top of that hill, you'll see a big, huge wooden building with a wooden chute next to it. That is Chicken Hawk Mine number 2. That mine was probably the hottest mine in this area. The inside working temperature down in the mine was an average 120 degrees. So to take that heat off the miners, they built a ventilation shaft, which is down from the mine. Over to the right, you'll see an opening in the trees, just above the highway there. That ventilation shaft soon got a nickname, the Hobo Tunnel. The guys would hop the train coming out of Cripple Creek at night, and they'd jump off there and sleep in that tunnel all night long. The temperature year-round was average 80 degrees. Now, below us here is Highway 67 again. It goes 3 miles up the hill there to the city of Victor. Victor was known as the city of mines. They had the most productive mines in the whole entire area because this area over here had the high-grade ore, more so than over in Cripple Creek. They also had the deepest mine, the Ajax, 3,350 feet deep. If you could make it to the bottom of it, you'd actually be lower than the elevation of Colorado Springs. The Portland mine extracted over $60 million in gold. And all the mines in the mining district combined, they estimated $600 million worth of gold came out of the ground. Now that was at $20 an ounce. Just a few weeks ago, gold went over $1,500. If you take a look straight out the train and up the hill, you see a large pile of waste rock up there. There's also some surrounding out over towards the front of the train. This is from an active gold mine. This is from the Victor and Cripple Creek Gold Mining Company. They are the largest open pit gold mine in the United States. They take the ore out of the pit itself and they run it through crushers. Grind it down to the size you see up there. Then they put it on these great big dump trucks, and those trucks take that ore and they spread it out over the top of that mound. Then they spray it with a cyanide solution that actually leaches the gold out of the ore. It's collected at the bottom of the leach pad in a liquid form, then it's sent off for further processing. They separate the cyanide from the 100% pure gold at that time. In 2007, the Victor and Cripple Creek Gold Mine extracted its 3 millionth ounce of gold. Very successful over there. Well, this is the end of the line here, so we're going to head back to the station, and our next stop will be just outside of Cripple Creek.